trouble. Once again, technical difficulties. This time with Restream. My stream wasn't being recognized, but we got amazing IT support or video production coordination, and we got it going. So we're starting a little late. It's 1 o'clock right now. I'm going to probably cut the video, the starting soon video short. Give it a couple more minutes. Let everybody get here. One more minute and then we'll start. So hang in there. Don't leave. Crockett is Red 5 today. Don't forget to use the shorts. Let's end it now, or let's start it now. Let's end the video now, and let's go straight to the opening. Here we go. Hey, welcome back. It's Abe again. It's Friday. It must be, right? Because I'm here every Friday at 1 p.m. You're watching 343 TV. We are from 343 Labs. It's 343 Labs we have schools in New York and in Berlin and online. What we do is we do classes and teach you all that is to be had about production, composition, sound design, mixing and mastering. Check out our website. Maybe you can take a class with us. But on Fridays and Saturdays, and sometimes on Tuesdays, we have a stream where some of the instructors from the school, I'm one of them, sit here and kind of just have a fireside chat about how to do some stuff with production. We just kind of wing it, I guess. and do what comes to us. I mean, we do have a plan. Of course, I have a plan for today, but it's definitely a fun sort of time that we have here every Friday fun time. Sometimes we have a little party. Welcome everybody. Let's get right into it. Let's go back to what we were doing last week. Or the last couple of weeks, we've been working on recording some parts and doing some stuff. Let me get my overhead out of here. Make it so that get some more room to view things here. Okay, so here's the TI-80. Mark is here, of course. Now the party has begun, but wait, the party began when William Mindreaders was here about half an hour before the stream started. I think William Mindreaders gets the award today for first one to arrive to the stream. Was here before I even was. Anyway, let's have a look at what we have here. We have been working on recording. Everything we have has been recorded from analog gear. Not that I work like that exclusively. I also like going in the box. And after today's session, maybe we'll start something that's totally in the box. But it's fun to have the gear and to be able to use the gear. And I'm very, very glad when we can, play around with it and maybe show you some techniques of how to record stuff and how to, get it all working and sounding great in the box with the rest of the stuff in the box, right? So let's just play what we have. Right now we have, let's see, we have a kick drum. It's a 909. I remember I pulled out my 909 and started recording some parts. And then I had a 303 and we recorded a couple of bass lines here. So we had this for a bass line and this for a bass line. Leave that one on for now. Then we had this other part that we got from the Poly 800, which I said I kind of very much enjoyed. Now, I did longer takes on things, but like this has a really long take. But I just picked a 1 bar loop that kind of worked for me on this and both on the 303 take. That one was more like a 7 bar loop, but I just took 1 bar loops. And you'll see why later, because part of what I have to do today has to do with simplifying the parts that I have already. Maybe the theme of today's show should be how to, use simplicity to make better house music, right? So let's go to the snare. I have a snare. It's the same part recorded across 7 or 6 bars, but let's pull that in, make it 1 bar. Just want to keep it manageable. And we have some hats. Again, same part over a few bars. So I'm just going to simplify it. And there's a second part here. Paul Vandenwerf is here. Hey, Paul. So we have this closed hi-hat, which, again, close and open, which we have recorded more than we need of. We're just taking the bar loop that we have. Then we have a clap, same situation. We're simplifying. We're just, kind of streamlining the operation here. And we could go as far as like maybe even taking, and this is a really good practice to come in here and crop a sample. If you're just going to use that, just really get used to just seeing what you're going to work with. Having all this extraneous stuff here can really stop you from flowing because you think, oh, maybe there's stuff there I need to be using. So let's go here. Let's trim that. There's the snare, same thing. I need to trim that. That should be a little louder. And I'm really just going to use that part there. I decided I was listening earlier to what I was going to use. So I'm not going to use any of the rest of the stuff. I'm just going to use that part of the loop. So I'm just going to take that and crop it. I just really want to... And so one of the most important lessons that I've learned from working with producers that are very successful, like people that are much more successful than I was, and I got lucky to be able to, engineer for them or to produce for them or whatever. But the biggest lesson that I always say to my students, that the biggest thing that I've ever learned is that they work really fast and they learn how to pick what they like, just use that, and keep on going. And streamlining in this way helps us to get to that kind of workflow where we're just taking what we need. We don't hang around and hold and hoard parts that we don't need. In this case, I'm just gonna do the same thing with this bass line here and crop it out. Same thing with this other bass line. I know we might have had some modulation differences there, but I just picked what I liked from this. And let's see what we have here. So I have a nice grumbly, I called it bass grumble. I'm just gonna take that, same thing, just make it a simple part. What else do I have here? Oh, this is probably gonna be one of our lead type parts. I decided to take 16 bars of that, but the rest of it is all going out the door here. I'm just gonna keep what I have. And over here, what happened was that I recorded a longer part with the monotribe. That's this guy sitting here. I'll show you in a second. Let me get this guy here. It's this guy in the corner here. We recorded. I don't know if you watched last week's show. You could see that we recorded a long take with a lot of parts with it. So what I did for this is that I took earlier today when I was preparing, I took I took the parts and listened to them and basically just narrowed it down to a few parts that I thought I could use. So I ended up taking this big long take, which we don't have the time right now to listen to the whole thing, and just grab some things that kind of stood out to me as being able to use parts. Future World Machines is here. Rudy Giuliani's freestyle video is here. Great name. And Max Wild, of course. Okay, and then another part here. So I took 3 parts, and you know what? That means I'm just going to take this whole thing and just going to erase it. I'm not going to stay married to anything or tethered to anything. I'm going to just take what I need and keep on moving, because the name of the game is being able to deliver fast when you're working professionally, right? Then I had some Poly 800 parts here, and these you might have to go through because I didn't get a chance to curate them, but things like this and this here. I think I had a nice compressor on here. I really like that part, so we'll push that and make that a part by itself. And a few parts in here. We'll get to them. We'll get to them in a little bit. And I kind of recorded a little bit of vocals earlier here, but let's see how that goes. All right. So what I want to do now, though, is continue to play on this kind of theme today of simplicity, and how that is one of the keys for good house music. Because if I think I've heard it many times. I don't know who the original quote was from, but something to the effect of music happens between the notes. The good stuff happens between the notes. And the more you have packed in, the less the music or the notes or the frequencies have to breathe. And the less of the story you could really tell it. So we need to find and take exactly the notes that we need from everything and simplify things. And in that case, that means starting even with the bass line. So we have 2 bass lines here. We have this one and we have this one. And I thought, we had started recording this was recorded with the Acid Machine, but I thought that we would maybe just take this bass line here and work it out in a way that it's just a bass line, that it really isn't acid, that it's a bass line that's going to just give us the kind of low end that we need in a house track, and not make it, this one is more of a acid line because it has those bends in it, right? And it's a nice bass line, but for today, I just kind of wanted to move in that house direction. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in here, and there's a bunch of notes already being played in there. And what I want is I want to take out the notes that I don't need. And how do I do that? Well, I'm going to take a pencil here and use this clip envelope. And with this pencil, I can remove notes as they are, as they are playing. And I always play this game is what can I just remove? And see, I just did that randomly, and it's just starting to sound simpler, but it's working out for me. So let's see. What if I take this one out as well? And maybe this one, see what happens if I just do this. There'll be a point, right, when I take these out that it won't make that much sense anymore. Like I think I missed this one now. And that is a nice, groovy, bass line that could be great in any house music track. And then it doesn't matter that it came from a 303. A 303 is a great bass machine. It is made as a bass machine, right? So let's take that. We have a little bit of a glue compressor on it. Let's compress it a little more. Put it in check there. And maybe we add a little bit of something here. Maybe, me and my Pultec. I love the Pultec so much. I'm going to add that Pultec EQ to it just to give it a little bit of nice deep bottom. And that's the EQ P1A. Just want to thick it up. Look how thick it got. Like, I'm not going to keep it at 10. But let's see what happens if we attenuate at 10 too. That's a nice thick house bass line now. Let's just listen to that by itself. Take out that clap. And let's take out that Pultec and see what it did. That's so mid-rangey now, but now it's nice and it has a nice bottom. 30 hertz is what we're pushing here. 30 hertz. And that's working quite nicely. And looking again at the notes that we decided to keep. We look at the clip envelope here. So I don't think I kept any notes that were exactly on the one. So like this one, maybe there weren't any. Well, this one was on the 2, and that would be over a kick drum. So I got rid of that one. Next kick drum would be here, and I got rid of that note, so it didn't conflict with that kick drum. And the last kick drum would have been here, but there really wasn't anything there, so got rid of that. And there was no first note here either, so it's kind of a little bit of remnant of that last note. But this is working really nice with that 4 on the floor, because it's really not stepping on its toes, the kick drum's toes, or vice versa. I don't even need to use a sidechain compressor or anything like that, because every note has its place. Okay, so let's do that again. Now let's do that with this part here. Now this part, it's nice, but I think it's a little busy. I think we could take out parts and make it sound better. It sounds, sometimes that sounds a little bit counterintuitive, where you think that maybe taking out music makes music sound better. But with music, like with a lot of things, but it's very especially with music, less is always more. Less is always more. So let's remove, and I have written down here a couple of things that I wanted to remove. So I wanted to remove this note, and maybe this note, and one last note, maybe this note. It's not what we had before, but it's a simpler part, and it's falling right in really nicely into that groove. And if you forget about the earlier busier parts that we have a pretty cool little foundation groove going here. Let's listen to that with some hi-hats. Let's get that a little louder here. Cool. Let's look at these other hi-hats. TI-80 Mark says, I ended up grabbing that Better Maker plugin from Plugin Alliance last weekend while it was on sale. It's good stuff. Yeah, Better Maker is great. That's Plugin Alliance's sort of a version of the Pultec EQ P1A. All right, let's make some variations on this hi-hat, and the way I'll do it is I'll just make a couple of copies of it, change the colors of it, and on this one, just gonna maybe just make shorter. That'll do that, and on this one, I'll do this kind of like for like a build-up sort of one. So I have this one, that one, and our original. 4 variations. So you could write a good hi-hat pattern and then just take little pieces of it, repurpose it, and just use that one pattern. And it all kind of makes sense because it all falls right into place. And boom. Good. Clap, we'll leave it as it is. Good clap, good 909 clap in a house music track never hurts. We have a filter on here, I think. We could start filtering this a bit. Just to get a little bit more of that feeling going, maybe add a little bit more effect. Now that we have less notes involved, we could have an effect do a little more in there because there's more room for the effect to. That's nice. And when I open the filter on this and close the filter, yeah, I like that. Switch to the other clap, hi-hat, take out the clap. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, that's kind of a spacey sort of sound. So we're going to keep that. It's going to be kind of a lead for us. But let's see, we have this grumble here. Let's work on that a little bit. First, I'm going to grab some EQ to make that work for us. I'm going to grab the API 560. If you guys know, I really love the 560 as much as I like the Pultec and the Neve. Those are my 3 favorite vintage EQs. And you can get those, except for the Pultec, which you can get, well, actually all of them except for the Neve, you can get from Waves. Well, I recommend that you can get from Waves. Waves has like a lot of discounts going on these days. You could probably get them for like $20. And this one and their version of the Pultec, which is the Puigtec, they have a version of the 1073, the Neve, which I'll probably use a little later, which is my favorite EQ to add air with. But I don't. It's called the Shep 73. I don't like it as much, to be honest. So I can't really recommend it full on. But let's kind of mold the sound in this guy here. So add some air to it. We're in the right track here, right? Yeah, see, this is. Just molding it correctly. And this is adding the frequency, this is taking away the frequency, and the frequency number is here. This is 125 hertz. Starts with 16K, goes down to 31 hertz. A little bit low end here. Let's see what that difference is between having it and not. See, it's flat there. And here it growls more. It's more of a growly. So I think I have, on this guy over here, I have this compressor. I'm going to copy this sidechain compressor. And I'm going to put the same sidechain compressor on this guy, see what it does. It's a little radical. I'm going to back off on it. And I'm just going to give it a little pump action. And this isn't really typical house. This is more starting to cross the line to techno, but hey, we're just having fun here. Let's put that on the back burner, and let's listen to our other parts. See, that was really taking over from this other part. not use so much low end from that. And let's open up that filter a little more. Open that, and it's a nice grumble on the bottom. Okay, cool. Again, back on the back burner, let's look at some of these other parts. So there were some really fantastic parts. I'm going to rename this, get this all named right. So this will be like Delirious or something. I don't know if I think I misspelled that. Anyway, let's leave it with misspellings. Now let's work these parts, and let's just get the little bits that we want of these parts. And I have the same thing going 2 bars. I'm just going to crop it again to just have it 1 bar. And search out. So first I identify what I think is too much in here. I think this note is too much. Maybe this one's too much. Maybe this is too much. So it starts to take, it's less, but it starts to fit in the slot better. I'm gonna leave that alone. Let's try it again. Practice this. You should really try this out for yourselves, because we write these parts with lots of notes, and we can come in there and just remove some of the notes that we don't need, and the part just gets so much better. I think these parts are extraneous here. This one's too. Maybe this one too. See, much better. Let's see what if I take this one out, what happens. How about this one out? How about this one out? Too much. I lost something there. Maybe the beginning of it? How about this bit here? No, we need the whole thing. See? This is how you play the game. You just go in there, you figure out what you need, what you don't need, and I think I'm covering up what I'm actually doing. Hold on, let me take my camera here. I've been working on this spot right here, keeping that here, but getting rid of everything around it. Okay, let's try one more. And with this one, I had kind of, let's just take that out. And maybe just keep that. See, that's going to work nicely for me. When you have a lot of parts, and I would start saying we have a lot of parts, you got to start to figure out how to make them all these pieces fit together and play nice with each other. And having too many parts on top of each other with too many notes is a nightmare. So do yourself a favor and write in this way. There we go. So let's review our parts. So that's kind of a variation on that. And what's this one? This one I don't like as much. Just listening to it again. See if we can. I don't like this. Maybe not all of this. Maybe just that from that. So if you hadn't seen all those parts or heard these parts with so many notes, you would think, oh yeah, that was great that you wrote those parts that way. But the problem is when you hear all the notes, and the notes sound kind of okay when they're playing by themselves or with less parts, and you feel like, oh yeah, let me keep those. they're going to be good, and then you just feel really apprehensive about actually going in there and taking anything out because you don't want to lose the essence of it. But the truth is, removing is always better. Simplicity, one of the keys to making better house music. Let's keep that rolling. Let's see what we got here. It's another interesting part. Let's start making some extra tracks to drop these in. There's one that this one definitely has to be in a track by itself. Let's grab that side chain and copy it and move it over. I don't know how that's going to react with this bass grumble. So they're kind of very similar, right? And I need to kind of take what I really want from here, because over here it's kind of filtered down. I'm just going to take maybe right around here. How about before that? Take maybe, in this case, I'll try a couple of bars. And that's all I want. And now that I know what I want, I'm going to crop it. I'm just going to not look back. Don't look back. That's the point. Don't look back. That's nice. Where is it? Put that. Oh, we put it next to the grumble. Let's see how that sounds. Let's bring down the filter on this. And take this out for a minute, for a second. Let's hear that grumble and this together. So they kind of work together, but they're in the same space, right? It's really, either I'm going to have to choose one or the other, or I'm going to have to figure out some fancy way of dealing with this. So let's call this, I don't know, Grumble 2. Hey, how about we just do the good old Haas effect? Meaning we grab this second grumble and we delay the left off to the right by a few milliseconds, and that way we'll be in a better spot, because this will be kind of to the sides and the bass grumble will stay in the center, and we'll have separated it that way. This has worked for me very many times. Paul Gomez, hey, hello. Let's try. So we have to set the time here for left and right so that it works. We don't need any feedback. Let's 1 millisecond is the lowest we can go. So let's do the other one at maybe, I don't know. Let's see what happens at 10 milliseconds. And we'll have to check that. And I'll have to do that in speakers, because in headphones it's hard to check that. But we'll have to check that to see how the phase issues that might turn up from that are affecting it and change the number here. But let's just let me just solo this part here and show you what happened now. So now it's in the Haas effect. And as you can hear, if you're hearing this in stereo, if you have your headphones on, Alessandro Bratz, what's up? You can hear that it's now on the sides. And I'm going to put it back in the center. And you see how it's now in the center. Now, I haven't checked it for phase cancellations. I'd have to do that in speakers, but I can't with the mic going and the stream and so on. But we could do that later, and all it means is just changing this number here to a number that matches and doesn't phase out the low end. But let's put it back so you could hear the side action. And now let's work these together. Let's put these together right on top of each other first. So let's get that going here. And now they're right on top of each other, but if I come in here on this one and turn on the delay, it went to the sides. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going to show you again. They're on top of each other now. And now they've gone to the sides. And this could be a better fit for the track now. Let's try to listen to it. Oh yeah, see, that's working now. Before they were clashing and they were having this fight in the same kind of part of the frequency spectrum. I could lower this one a little bit now. It's not really house. It starts to encroach into the techno world here a little bit, but house is a feeling, right? Let's open this up again. Maybe it'll give us some more house feeling. Take a little bit of that effect off. Get a little drier. Okay, so good. All right, it's halfway. Well, we're past halfway point. Just to remind you what you're watching 343 TV. My name is Abe Duque. I stream every Friday at 1 p.m. Stay tuned. Well, hang around till tomorrow, and you'll have John Selway's Techno Saturdays show. We are 343 Labs is the is the school that we're from. We're both John and I are instructors at 343 Labs. We have schools in New York and in Berlin, and of course online. We have classes starting all the time. I have a class starting this Monday, an Ableton class online, Monday and Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. New York City time, 7:15 to 9. So it's a Ableton beginner class. If you want to take a class with me, it would be a great opportunity. I have also, but John and all the other instructors, Dane, Nathan, all our other instructors, all the crew in Berlin, we are starting classes all the time. So have a look at our schedule, and maybe you can come in and check us out. And if you want to join our subscription service, 343 Studio, which is basically a dojo, and I have an actual program in there called now the Ableton Dojo, but I call this a place where producers can come in and work out all their chops. We have now we have this Ableton Dojo that I'm going to be running, but we have collab sessions. We have all sorts of master classes happening, mentoring, feedback sessions. And this is a subscription service. We have different tiers, so you can come and join first at the lower tier if you like it, maybe upgrade. But come and check it out, all at 343labs.com. Anyway, let's continue with this track. So we're working out, and I'm really kind of very happy as to how these two low ends kind of came together. And remember before we had them more or less on top of each other. And now we managed to put one in the Haas effect, and that one with the more airy stuff, that was the better choice for that because it had more to latch onto stereo-wise, right? But we've kind of increased the stereo quotient on that. Whenever you see with a student this week, we were working on mastering a track, and Isotope Ozone has this this imager, and there's a little lever on there that says stereoize on that imager, and he asked me like, hey, well, what does it do when you turn that up, that stereoize? And basically it's exactly what we've done with the delay here. It's the Haas effect. It just it taps into that psychoacoustic effect that Helmut Haas discovered in the 50s. Anyway, let's keep on going. Let's grab some more parts here and see what we have. So this one is like an okay part. It's not really screaming at me. At this point, I have such a tight groove going, and everything is kind of like, coming together. Even though the parts might be pleasing enough to hear, I might not, immediately, grab them. I might just start to go like this and delete those parts. Like this one has like something redeemable about it because it's like a string. Now it's going into this compressor. Maybe it doesn't have. Maybe it should be by itself, not going into that sidechain compressor. But let's see how this sounds. That's not bad. I'm gonna put it in its own track, and I'm gonna the color of it. And I'm gonna put that in maybe a big reverb. Let's see what happens. Now, let's solo it for a second. Yeah, I'll put it in this echo. Let's put these guys together here, these grumbles, and let's put a filter on them so that I could close them together. Maybe I'll have to curate that part. So I'll just call this string something. So I'll just, whatever that is. It's an old habit that I had when I started producing back in the days. I would start with the word that reminded me of the sound and then just kind of went crazy on the keyboard. See, that part right there was really good. Let me just grab those bars there. See what. That's nice. All right, let's keep that. That'll be our little string area that we'll go into at a certain point. And let's see, what else do we have? Do we have anything else? We have that. I don't know what to do with that yet because it's kind of more like this delirious part here. It's very delirious. I gotta start mapping some of these filters in here. So maybe I have to also kind of cut down. I don't want that. I just want really what's happening right here. Not more than that. I don't want it to change too much. It just changes so much. So immediately, just don't think about it. Crop it. You're better off to do that. It's always a better move. Just crop things out. Does this have a sidechain on it? I don't think it needs it. So I was goofing around earlier with like some vocals, and I started to like. So I had this delirious part. This part reminds me of something going kind of delirious. I'm delirious, right? So I was just recording myself saying "delirious house." And let's see, Ben Ang says, delirious sounded good as a contrast, especially when you filter the other parts. Yeah. I agree. But I'm thinking of trying to make it a little more of the kind of lead part. That's bringing back those two grumbles. Okay, and now let's see how these other parts are fitting in or not. See, that's nice to come in with a short little part. I think that's my favorite, right, of the three. I'm just gonna keep that to the top. Simple. Dry. So when I close that, let's put change some hi-hats and clap. And I have a snare here too. Where's my kick? My kick is disappearing. Gotta bring that up. I'm gonna bring this down just to get it out of the red for now. Where's my vocals? Okay, so I was goofing around, and I always pitch down my vocals. So let's see what this sounds like. So that's me kind of warping it. I kind of pulled it up I could do another recording just to kind of show you what I went through. So I think my mic is set up already to record. So I'm just going to set this up to record and just say things. Delirious. Delirious house. 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 Delirious. Delirious house. And I take that and pitch it. Delirious. About 5 semitones down. Yeah. Goes far. That pitching goes very far for me.
Delirious house. Delirious.
Let's try to work those parts in, see what's going on with them. Let's get the delirious part going.
Delirious house.
Let's open up some of these drums.
Delirious house.
See some of these other parts that we laid out.
Delirious.
Okay, shut up, babe.
Delirious. Delirious.
What is the string?
Delirious house.
Ben Ang says, love the voice effect. How did you do that? Oh, so one of the things that you know that I do is that I pre-curate some really kind of very useful but utilitarian style effects in my returns. So I have here a reverb that I kind of like, generally speaking. You know, it's kind of long with a 3.46 second decay time. Then I have a delay set up here, so with a pretty long feedback of 74%, and ping-ponging at 16th notes. And then I have a dub syndicate preset actually on the echo set up here, and I'm able to quickly be able to send that into one of these.
Delirious house.
Bring that reverb in. Maybe I like that one better.
Delirious. Delirious house.
Or maybe I like the delay better. This is the reverb. That was the reverb before, sorry.
Delirious house.
All sound kind of cool. Which one is the better one? I don't know.
House.
I'll decide a little later when I start further tweaking the effects and so on.
Delirious house.
Let's go back.
Delirious. Delirious.
So all these parts can't play at the same time. That's for sure. Well, where's that other part? Our main kind of other part that we closed up. Let's get this one in there. This is the one that makes it sound like house. Let's get this one filtered now. Let's get some hi-hats going. And a clap. Let's get my vocal in there.
Delirious. Delirious house.
I think I need some compression for that. Let's see how the dynamics. So there's like a little bit of a range here in the dynamics on my vocals here. They're kind of loud here. They're quieter here. And they like really blow up here, and then they get quieter. So let's add compression to kind of even that out. And my favorite combination, which has been a lot of people's favorite combination in compression for a long time, has been an 1176. So the 1176 is down here, going into a LA2A. So let's get the 1176 kind of cranking already. We want to have a high ratio with that. Take out the effect for a second. Let's just work on this. and let's
Delirious.
high ratio, but we're gonna make it set the input so that it
Delirious.
doesn't really catch that quickly.
Delirious.
Just
House.
lower the input, and
House.
we'll make it a very lazy attack.
Delirious.
A very fast attack and very
Delirious.
lazy release.
House.
Because we really want to, if we're really trying to look for the peaks,
Delirious.
catching peaks. That's why we just set it to like react to the very loudest stuff, so that this needle doesn't move that much. But when it does move, it goes into 20 to 1 ratio compression, and the attack is super fast. So when it peaks like right here, and this peaks really fast, this transient moves really fast, this thing's gonna catch it. This should move that needle right there. Ready?
House.
See how that needle moved it, and it just
Delirious.
took care of it quickly. But you just really want to set the input just low enough, and this is basically the threshold, so that it catches only the loudest parts.
Delirious. House.
And then the second one,
House.
we in series compression, that means one compressor moving into the next one, is going to be the Teletronics LA2A, which is always really cool.
Delirious.
Golden sound.
Delirious.
Best maybe compressor for vocals there has ever been. I mean, the TubeTech CL1B, which is kind of based off of it, is maybe a better improvement on it, but still the LA2A, and I gotta find it here.
Delirious.
It's on the Teletronics, yeah. Let's just grab that,
Delirious. House.
drop that in there.
House. House.
And this one you wanted
Delirious.
to run deeper into, so you just increase the gain.
House.
There's no attack, release, or ratio setting on this.
Delirious.
We just kind of
Delirious. House.
just let it do its thing.
House. House. Delirious.
We just make it work.
Delirious. House.
Just make sure that it's working. Okay,
Delirious.
and it is working. So now that one goes into the other, it's
House.
going to even out those vocals.
House. House. Delirious. Delirious. House.
Yeah, William Mind Readers is
Delirious.
commenting on how many UAD plugins are in there. The thing is, don't be fooled. I don't have all of them. What happens is when you install the UAD software, they install every single plugin in your computer, and then they, at any given point, you'd be like, "Oh, I want to check this one out. Let's see. I probably don't have this one. I don't think I have this one." And no, I do. Sorry, but I don't. Sorry, here it goes. So this one will say, "Hey, you don't have it, but would you like to buy the full version? Since you have it in your computer already, it's just a matter of just saying yes, and we'll charge your account." No, that's not what we're doing right now. But that's how Universal Audio works. So you could have 1 or 2 Universal Audio plugins, and you'll see the whole list of all the plugins that they have appear on here. Okay, so on the way out, we're getting close to the end here. On the way out, I'm gonna just record. My favorite way of creating an arrangement is to just kind of play it in. And best case scenario would be that I mapped everything out on a bunch of controllers, and just played it and filtered things in. Now I'm gonna have to do that all with the mouse because I didn't go and do that. But it'll be a better way than to start laying stuff down. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set these up the way that I want them to come in. And I just have 2 filters really to worry about, these 2. So those will be the only 2 to worry about. And let's start with just hitting record. And, now that recording is happening, I don't have to panic. I don't have to feel very, pressured to do anything spectacular or anything. It doesn't matter what I do right now. I'm not doing anything. This doesn't cost me any money. Just let it run, let it record. Sometimes I'll let it record for half an hour while I'm doing this part of my workflow. And let's just get a bass line going. And here we go with a kick drum. And, I might trim the beginning off of that, or I might trim it even more if I come up with something more spectacular. But let's start to filter in this part. Let's bring it in. When you're doing this in Ableton, you got to remember to have the automation record button activated there, because if not, you won't be recording that automation. Let's add a little close hi-hat, sorry. Okay, cool. What else do we have going on? Hold on. So right now I'm like, oh, what do I do? Deer in the headlights. I have to be spectacular. I gotta knock this, arrangement out of the park right from the beginning. No, I could take my time. I could even let that record and just watch it record. It doesn't matter. I could always trim things, right? I could always just cut things out. So, take your time and think about what you might want to do. And if you do the wrong thing, you could just back up and do it again. And as it's recording, it doesn't matter. Let's lay something in there. Let's lay the delirious part. See how that feels. While that's playing, I'm going to start backing off on this. And maybe start this one up. And that's good. Let's get the claps in there. Back off on that. And let's see this other part. And let's always, when you don't know what you're doing or what you could do next, and you realize you have a bunch of elements thrown in there, and now a bad move is to start removing the lowest element, like the kick. So you could do this. Oh, okay, this gives me an opening to what I might be wanting to do next. Maybe at this point, this would be a good idea to drop out clap and hi-hat, turn on the snare, turn the kick back on, and turn the delirious back off. And that I could trim and make it better later. Yeah, that's working. Maybe make this a little louder. Let's get a more busy hi-hat in there. Let's get my vocals in there. Which one is this one?
Delirious house.
I just do one of those, and then something will happen, like maybe this will come in. And then I'll open that. Try this again. And get the delirious back in there. And with a clap. The clap should be louder. And I'm not gonna keep going forever with this, since we're coming to the end of the show. But if you look over here, all that stuff I've been doing while I've been trying to talk to you guys at the same time, so I haven't really been focusing on this. I could be focusing on it more if I didn't have to, run a stream. But all that stuff is recorded right in there, and with all my automation and everything I did. And this could be, at least now, when I play this back, I'll have an understanding of what this track could possibly be. And so my next kind of movement or action would be now to take this part and export it. So, file, export, audio and video. And even if it's, right now we only did like 4 or 5 minutes of it, but even if it were to be like half an hour, I would export the whole thing. And after I export the whole thing, I would export that and put it on my phone or something and take it with me somewhere. Go for a drive, go for, a walk, sit under a tree, take the train somewhere, listen to all that fooling around that I did with my arrangement. And often I'll have some way to like notate what I'm doing, what I've done, or what I could be doing with the arrangement. Be like, oh, like at 2 minutes and 17 seconds, that's actually a good place to start the track. And then that break at around 3 minutes, yeah, that was great, but it should come here. And it's just write all this stuff down, then come back and start snippity snip, cutting, rearranging, moving things around, or replaying things in, or just drawing them in as you like. But you have a starting position. If I woke up to this now, I see that there's some sort of arrangement going on. I think the most terrible situation that we get into sometimes with arrangements, and I have a lot of students that I think maybe all my students secretly have this kind of fear of arrangements. Like when it comes to the arrangement, it gets real and it gets hard to like, lay things down and commit to them, But so especially when you see a blank screen. But when you have some stuff that's actually grooving and working for you, I mean, I could drop it in any place, and this thing is kind of just doing some cool grooves. I now feel like, well, you know what? I can improve, make this better, improve on this. I treat it somehow like a puzzle at this point, where I'll just, and this might take me, a week of like playing with the puzzle, but this part gets me way ahead, because if I had to decide what is it starting with, and then like put, 4 bars of a kick drum, and then do I put the bass down? That's going to be too slow for me. Anyway, we've run out of time. This has happened again. Maybe, let's see. TI-80 Mark says, I do that a lot too. Listen to it over and over and over while making dinner. Yeah, I'm hungry now. And making notes in the Notes app on my phone on what changes come to mind. Yeah, you have to do that. You have to take yourself out of the situation. The best place to be producing is not always in front of your production station. It's a lot of the good stuff. The better ideas that I've had with tracks sometimes happen while I'm taking a shower, for example. When you're relaxed, taking a shower, thinking about that track, you're like, wait a second, what if I, boom, and it just, the light bulb goes off, and then you go back to your production station and get it done. You got to walk away, though. You got to walk away. You got to give your brain another sort of way to see things or hear things. A lot of times I'll even play back things and turn off the screen so that I don't have to see that screen, playing that timeline, just to hear things, just to experience them only with my ears and my body. Anyway, again, it's that time of the day where I have to say goodbye. But remember, we are a school, 343labs.com. Please visit our website. Please check out our class schedules. I have a class starting this week. It might be, cool to see you in the class, and we can talk about anything you want when it comes to music production then, because we have time. And I could, personalize that instruction for you. Also, all of the other instructors are having classes happening and starting all the time, both in Berlin and in New York. And remember, 343 Studio. Anyway, tune in tomorrow for John Selway's Techno Saturdays. And I have to maybe say goodbye now. Bye. By the way, it's not too late to hit the like button. You know me, I love getting those likes from you guys. So if you like what you saw today in our show, please hit the like button. And maybe subscribe to our channel, because we're trying to grow it from 25K or something that we have now So yes, please hit me up. Give me a smash that subscribe button, or smash the like button, or hit the notification bell.